Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Evelyn of Pink Sheep Design, and I am starting a new series that we're going to try out and see what you guys think. This is creating from the RV, I guess crocheting in the RV crocheting adventures, whatever you guys want to call it. Today I'm super excited because we are going to make a super easy wristlet strap. So for this project, you are going to need a 1-inch D-ring. So this is, I say D-ring, it's like a lobster clasp, and I do have a link in the description of this video on where I got this. I get mine on Amazon. You can buy a bunch of these for pretty cheap. These are going to make great gifts. And then you are going to need some T-shirt yarn. So T-shirt yarn is considered either a 6-weight or a 7-weight, depending on who you buy it from. This is Hooked brand Spaghetti Prince yarn. You can also make your own T-shirt yarn. That's an option as well. But I'll show you guys. You may be able to get away with just using any 6-weight yarn because this is not a huge, super bulky yarn. So this is the width of this yarn. You're not going to need a jumbo weight yarn that calls for a 25mm hook. So let's see if this one has the recommended hook size listed. So this yarn recommends a 10 to 15mm hook to use with this yarn. And that is actually what we are going to be using. So this is a 10mm hook. So you guys can see here, this is one of our 3D printed ergonomic crochet hooks. This is our hybrid version. So we've got the nice metal hook. This is a fantastic hook style for working with something like T-shirt yarn, because T-shirt yarn can be difficult to work with at times. It creates definitely more tension as you're creating your stitches. So you don't want to use like a wooden hook that might snap or a plastic hook that might snap. So it's great to have a metal hook. Our metal hooks run all the way through. So it's going to be a great workhorse for this quick project. So I'm going to turn the camera around and we'll get started. Guys, so we have everything here that we need to make this super simple wristlet. We've got our lobster clasp here. This is a swivel style lobster clasp. We have a 10mm crochet hook. And then we have our T-shirt yarn, right? And again, you can use other yarns for this. This is really close to like a normal 6-weight yarn, maybe just a little bit bigger. So what we're going to do, oh, and before we start, I did want to say you can get away with a little bit smaller one of these clasps. So like I said, this one is about 1 inch wide. You can get the shorter one, especially if you use a little bit lighter weight yarn. This is just to give you plenty of room to actually have a wide enough strap through this. So just wanted to throw that out there. You don't have to use the exact same ones that I used. So we're going to start off with a slip knot here. We're going to insert our hook and we're going to work a chain. Now, the chain can honestly be as long as you'd like it to be. It really depends on your personal preference for how long you want this wristlet to be. Something to keep in mind is some yarn is stretchier than other yarn, this being one of those types of stretchy yarn. So see here, if I take this and I stretch it, it stretches quite a bit. So keep that in mind if you're going to have that wristlet. You can make it a little bit smaller if you know that it's going to stretch out a little bit. All right, so let's see. I'm just going to keep going here. If I fold that in half, that's really not very long, so we're going to keep going. Let's see where we're at now. So if I fold this in half, I feel like I could still have a little bit more length there. So once these are connected, that's about how long that's going to be. So if I put that around my wrist, I don't have a ton of space. Let's do at least 2 more chain stitches. Okay, so that gives me, let's count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So I chained 22, right? And here is the part that makes it super simple. You are going to take your lobster clasp and you are going to thread the end the tail through along with the start of your chain. Now make sure that your chain isn't twisted. All right, so I've made sure that my chain is untwisted here, but the D-ring is on the chain. And I'm going to insert my hook into the very first stitch. See if I can find that right here. So I'm going to insert my hook right here into this very first stitch. And then I am going to yarn over and pull through both loops on my hook to create a slip stitch. And now I have a connected wrist strap. All right, so from here all you're going to have to do is work half double crochet stitches or double crochet stitches. Either one is fine. Half double crochet happens to be one of my favorite stitches, so that is what I'm going to use for this one. So I'm going to chain 1 here, and then I'm going to work into this second chain from the hook, which is right here, this one. And I'm going to yarn over, push my hook through, pull up my loop. So now I have 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops on my hook. So that is going to give me my first half double crochet stitch. Right, so I'm going to continue working this all the way around. There we go. And I am just moving this D-ring around in front of me as I go. And you can see how this is working up. So I've got this nice chunky half double crochet stitch pattern right here. So I'm probably going to speed up the next part so that you guys don't have to slowly watch me work all the way around. Okay, once you get to where you only have a few of these stitches left, again, this lobster clasp is just moving along in front. I'm just going to push the lobster clasp up onto the thicker part. Let's see if I can actually do that here. So I'll put my tail through first. And I'm going to just pull this through. Here we go. Awesome. All right. So this yarn is super thick, as you guys can see. Like I said, a little bit thicker than a super bulky. And so the good thing is this clasp is not going to move around super easily, which I think is kind of nice to have it pretty stationary. It's not just going to be swiveling around. But now that you have moved the lobster clasp up onto this portion of it, you can complete, let's do this. You can complete the rest of your stitches and finish by slip stitching into this very first half double crochet. So we're going to do that. So I've got, I think, 3 more of these half double crochet stitches to make. And I love this printed yarn. I think this is really nice. Like I said, this is Hooked brand spaghetti prints, and their prints are all super limited edition. And so it's like once they run out of that print, they're out, because they actually use recycled fabric from textile mills. So it makes them super unique. So if you wanted to make these for craft shows or as gifts, they're going to be super unique, one of a kind gift options, which I always thought was really special. All right, so I was sitting here talking and I did I did not do that very slowly, but so I'll undo that. But I finished this last half double crochet. This is the very first half double crochet that I started with. So I'm going to insert my hook into that, yarn over, pull that loop through, and then pull it through the other loop that's on my hook. And then from here, I'm going to have to get some scissors because I forgot to bring scissors out here for this tutorial. And actually, I bet you I have some. Give me just a second. Look who thought to pack scissors in the RV. So I had some in our kitchen drawer. So you're just going to cut your yarn here and pull that loop through. Let's tighten that back up. Yarn over, pull that tail through. There we go. All right, and then I'm going to flip this up. Move that back to the center. And there you have it. So you've got this great stretchy, soft armband. So you can use this to hold keys or, you know, whatever you want it to hold. What I usually do for the ends of these is, obviously this is the direction that I'm going to have mine in. I could flip this around if I wanted to, but I'm going to push my crochet hook up through the bottom, through the inside, and I'm going to pull this tail through the center here, like that. And I'm going to do the same thing on the side. I'm going to push my hook up through the bottom portion of it, and I'm going to use my hook to pull that tail through. There we go. So now I can flip my keychain inside out. I have these two tails right next to each other. So I'm going to go ahead and do a knot. So I just did a regular knot there, and then this for the second part of the knot, I'm going to wrap once and wrap twice and pull that nice and tight. And then I can snip these ends pretty close to the knot. Here we go. And kind of tuck those in, and you can move your keychain as close to that as you want. Like I said, this yarn is pretty bulky, so it can be difficult to move the keychain. There we go. So I got that almost on top of these, and there you go. There you go. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know if you'd like to see more small projects like this. I would love to know different projects that you'd like to see me make out of these super bulky and jumbo yarn options. So until next time, guys, happy hooking!